Hello viewers, this is Just Fake Network TV, a home of accurate news and current news. For those who subscribe, I want to say a big thank you to every one of you, and if you're yet to do so, please kindly press the subscription button below. And now the news and details. Good night from FR0M, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. If you are looking for where to read newspaper in FR0M, visit the Vice President's office, noted the social media user. The pendulum is already swinging, and the scale of the cabal is dangling towards a certain direction. The battle for the soul of 2023 is gradually being drawn. The coast is becoming clearer. The battle is all about who gets the top job in 2023. Needless to say, it's going to be a fight to finish. It's going to be a war between the pigs and the cabal. Should I increase the volume for Honorable Minister for Power to hear me? Who will get dirtier and happier this time around? The pigs or the cabal? It is indeed a battle between the monstrous, ferocious and powerful northern cabal and the Jagaban's boys. Sorry, I meant to say the Yoruba of the southwest. Intriguing days are ahead. Time and events will keep on unfolding how this power tussle will twist, hit and break necks. Now look at it this way. They started the ruthless experimentation with the Sahara Reporters publisher, Mr. Sowore. When the northern oligarch decided to hunt him, they definitely had something in mind. They wanted to know how the Southwest would react, as if the well-orchestrated plans were laid like landmines. The Yoruba political gladiators are already playing into the traps. They all kept mute at Sowore's gut-wrenching invasion and arrest. Some of them even encouraged the president and his powerful cabal to keep Sowore as long as his wishes, in as much as 2023 would not be compromised with other ethnic groups. You would recall that pressures were all around Asiwaju of Yoruba land and self-styled Awolowo of our time, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, to run for 2023 presidency. Anyway, that is what he told us. Sowore has always been seen as a threat to the political interests of Jagaban. No, he was a big threat to the collective interests of the Southwest. As such, he has to be eliminated from the picture. Having seen that the cheese was really playing out as planned, it's now time to touch one of the untouchables. The most powerful political office holder from the Southwest was stripped of his powers and rendered almost redundant. This was a clear message to the Jagaban that it was no longer business as usual. Nobody dares the cabals and tells the story with joy. First, Mr. President, I meant the unseen hands in the presidency, disbanded the Osinbajo-led economic management team even without giving him prior notice. It took the vice president by surprise. I suppose he would still be nursing the wound and trying to recover from the rude shock by now. But the cabal would not stop there. They needed to leave the Jagaban with a bloody noise by hitting very hard at his men. He has to be caught to seize by all means for nursing his inordinate ambition. Without mincing word, he has to be taught some lessons and be told to his bare face that he is still a political neophyte in the murky waters of Nigerian politics. Nigeria is neither Lagos State nor Southwest, where the Jagaban could loom large without restraint. Nigerians, as things are now, belongs to the cabals and by extension the powerful northern oligarchs. Come to think of it, to be frank, many had seen the Osinbajo-led EMT as an epoch-making disaster. As some economists and financial analysts would argue, the vice president headed the most inept, rudderless and historical failed economic team in the history of Nigeria. A sort of Buhari symbiotic political economy Certainly, the economic team will be remembered for its notoriety for plunging the economy into a state of comatose. Sadly, it is done. And sadly, under its economic water, millions of Nigerians fell into the Atlantic Ocean of abject poverty. Nigeria quickly leaped to become the poverty capital of the world, although many still argue that the baton of responsibility rests between him and the cabals, as the president signs anything that comes to his desk through the cabal without making any attempt to go through those documents. After all, he once admitted he doesn't read through documents before signing and presenting them to the public. Second, right from the inception of the Buhari administration, the Vice President has been sharing the governing boards of the National Emergency Management Agency, Border Community Development Agency, the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, and the National Boundary Commission. He likewise chairs the boards of director of Niger Delta Power Holding Company, a limited liability company jointly owned by the 3 tiers of government, as well as chairman of National Council on Privatization. These are powerful portfolios being superintended by him. This gave him some sense of superiority over the demigod cabal. But how far Osinbajo would go with those titles is a matter to be determined not by the Constitution or any other extant law, but by the godless cabals all feeding fat both at Aso Rock and outside the precinct of power. They could even call the cannon shot from Daura Palace and Kaduna Government House or anywhere in the north. Aligning with their interests could have saved the vice president all this embarrassment. Perhaps it has even come as a speculation that he is also nursing the ambition of giving the top job a shot should his boss fail to clinch the ticket. Now, all those powers that had given him a false sense of confidence and smartness have been stripped off with just a tip of the fingers by the cabal. Is the game not over? What this means is that the vice president would just be there, isolated and abandoned. What gave him relevance has been taken away. Third, before he could take a decision or action now, approval must first be sought and obtained by him from the almighty cabal. It will get to their table first. They will have to query it, ask both reasonable and unreasonable questions. Approval will be timelessly delayed. Frustration would creep in. The office would become moribund and redundant. It will be starved of funds. Apologies to the Kogi State Governor and his estranged deputy. Fourth, that notorious trader money and what have you would also have to go. No more traveling allowances. The vice president would just come to office, press, and charge his phone, tweet, Facebook, WhatsApp, and perhaps listen to news and retire back home. This may soon be his routine for the next 4 years. The powerful cabal is at work. A time is coming when Nigerians will be asking themselves whether the office of the vice president still exists. That is what the cabal can do. Challenge them and your story would be told with deterrence and as a warning to others. Fifth, major national dailies are recently reporting how the vice president aides were packing out to House of Aso Rock in droves. The terrain was becoming unbecoming for them. The manifestation of the power of the cabals unbearable Aso Rock. Now, that becomes of Tinubu and his ambition if the cabal decided to go after all his men on key political positions at the federal level. They are digging the trenches against 2023 for the Jagaban and his men. Will he survive the onslaught? Time will tell. For now, the coup from the cabal is already giving some ambitions, gladiators, sleepless nights. Is impeachment possible? Pretty much, but that would be too lousy and unnecessarily pronounced. With the subtle but dangerous step being taken by the cabals, I see darkness hovering around Jagaban's ambitions. The sinister is already gathering to perch on the Zuma Rock. Will the Southwest pick up now? And would they also sacrifice Osinbajo with the hope that 2023 is still much feasible for them? The question I am compelled to ask is, how will the Southwest appeals the Hassel Rock cabal without sacrificing their 2023 inordinate ambition. Wow. So guys, what do you think about what is going on right now about Yemi Osinbajo saying that good night from Hassel Rock by Yemi Osinbajo? What is your own take? Kindly drop your comments at the comment section below. For those who subscribe to our channel, please kindly press the subscription button below. At least we've heard it all. We all know that Osinbajo is not is somebody that has power in the Hassel Rock. We all know that he is just there like a figurehead. So kindly drop your comment below. God bless you once again. Bye.